This help video is how to set up and link accommodation price items with host payment price items. Accommodation requires the creation of two price items, an invoice item to charge the student and a payment item to pay the family. The two price items then need to be linked together. This can be achieved as follows. So from the main menu, if I select Maintenance and Settings and Maintenance, this will take us to the master price list. So first of all, at the top of the screen, we've got price list for school. If we firstly select the school, which is Bournemouth, make sure you have master price list highlighted in the next section down. Then click on the Accommodation tab. So from the bottom right, if we click on the Add button to create a new price item. So here on the general screen of the new price item, if we enter a code and a name. So this can be Homestay B&B. So if we code it Homestay BB, and the name Stay Bed and Breakfast. Then we have the pricing rules. So for accommodation items, this will be weeks and days, and it will also count nights. So on the right hand side we have Use For. If we open up this drop down, we have option of invoice only, payment only, and invoice and payment. Invoice only is used for accommodation sale prices, so the prices that are charged to the student. Payment only is used for accommodation payment items to pay the family. Invoice and payment, these are for backwards compatibility and users are advised to select one of the first two options. So first of all, I'm going to create an invoice item. Going to the left hand side, we now need to select a nominal code. So if I select on accommodation 700, click on select, and if I click on the promotional code, this will also mirror the nominal code. If I now click on the Prices tab at the top and click on Add from the middle section, here we're going to create our price values per week. Now get a warning message to say the payment item has not been specified. This is because we're going to create it later on and link it to this particular item. So if I select Yes to continue, this is where we can create our weekly values. So first of all, we need to select a from date. Usually this is the start of the year. So from the calendar, if I go back to the 4th of January, so usually students start their accommodation on a weekend. If I select on the currency, click on sterling, and the tax rate, we're going to use exempt in this example. If your prices are a standard weekly rate, in the calculator you can add your weekly value to be charged to the student. So say it's £210. If I then use the tab key, this will then calculate the number of weeks according to 210 per week, up to 53 weeks. The days part units, if the accommodation is invoiced as a week for say 6 or 7 nights, so whether they stay 6 nights or 7 nights, the rate will be £210. Here, where we've got the 6 nights, that would have to be manually changed to £210. The same for 5 nights. If they stay 5 nights but you want to charge the weekly rate, that would again have to be changed to £210. So now if I select on OK, that weekly price has been created. So if I now select on OK, Again, you get the warning that the payment item has not been specified. We'll select yes to continue, and now we can create our payment item. Back to the master price list, in the accommodation tab, if I highlight our invoice item we've just created and then click on the copy button. If I select our school as Bournemouth, so here we have a copy of the item that we've just created. So we now need to make a few changes. With the payment price items, we recommend that you prefix the code and the name with a Z. This just stops the users picking these when adding bookings to the system. So if I change the code to ZHSBB, and in the name, if I remove the copy in brackets, and then in front, if I just add a Z there. Again, we have the nominal codes picked up as 700, weeks and days, counting nights as well. The only thing we need to change here is the use for. So as this item is going to be paying the host family, this is going to be a payment only item. So if I now select on the prices tab and click on the edit button. So if you pay your host families a different rate to what you charge the students, the price here can be changed. If the family is going to be paid £190 a week, this can be entered in the calculator as before. So put in 190 and select on the tab key on your keyboard. This will then calculate the weekly rate of 190 up to 53 weeks. Again, the same applies with the days and part units. However your rules are to pay the family, you can amend the 5-night rate and the 6-night rate manually here. If I now select OK, and OK to this Z item. So you'll notice that the invoice items are shown in white and the payment items are shown in yellow. So now we need to link them together. So if I go back to the invoice item showing in white, if I double click, on the general screen at the bottom we have booking defaults and we have accommodation payment item. If I open up this box, it will show all the payment items for this particular school. So now I just need to select my Z Homestay Bed and Breakfast, which I created as the payment item, select it, and this is now linked to the invoice item. If I now select on OK, that has now been linked together. So from the price list browse, accommodation, you can see we have Homestay Bed and Breakfast. It's linked to the Z Homestay Bed and Breakfast. I hope you found this help video useful and thank you for listening.